drop the tray, that'll make you bounce and egg.
Cause I'm on white, man. Cause I'm on white, Mr. White down here, Urban Fox a million. Cause I'm on this white.
I'm rolling up in a big gray bus and I'm shackled down myself, that's who I trust. The minute I arrived, some sucker got hit, shanked 10 times behind some bullshit. Word in the pen, the fool was a snitch. So without hesitating, I made a weapon quick. Found a sharp piece of metal, take it to a stick. Then the bullhorn sounds, that means it's time for chow. My first prison meal, the whole feeling was foul. It wasn't quite my style, but my stomach growled. So I washed the shit down and hit the weight pile. The brothers were swole, the attitudes was cold. I felt the tension on the yard from the young and the old. But I'm a warrior, I got my ground to hold. So I studied the inmates to see who had the power. The whites, the blacks, or just the gun tower.
Yo, man, I was up in Jamestown, man, on the dorm 8, man, on the weight pile, man. And these two fools was fighting white boys, man. White boy put his arm through the window, man, back on like hanging out, man. The COs didn't even want to touch him, man. It's like blood everywhere. But I think they came and stick that boy off his commissary, man. It was real bad, man. It was real crazy up there, man. It was wild.
In a blink of an eye, a riot broke out. Blacks put their backs to the wall, cause it was north and south. A gunman shouts and everybody had doubts, till the bullets started flying, took 2 men out. Then they rushed everybody back to their cells. Damn, the pen is different from the county jail. I'm in a one-man cell, I know my life's on the scale. I wonder if that gunman is going to hell. This is my 2nd day, I got a 10-year stay. I learned my first lesson in the penny don't play. I seen a brother kill another cause they said he was gay. But that's the way it is, it's been that way for years. When his body hit the ground, I heard a couple of cheers. It kinda hurt me inside, they were glad he died. And I asked myself just who had the power. The whites, the blacks, or just the gun tower.
Talking about the ghetto. Funky, funky ghetto. Trying to survive, trying to stay alive. The ghetto. The ghetto. Talking about the ghetto. The ghetto. The ghetto. Funky, funky ghetto. Even though the streets are bumpy, lights burned out, dope fiends die with a pipe in their mouth. Old school buddies not doing it right. Every day it's the same and it's the same every night. I wouldn't shoot you, bro, but I'd shoot that fool if he played me close and tried to test my cool. Every day I wonder just how I die. Only thing I know is how to survive.
Hey, how you doing? This is Charles White with Vacaville Access Television Station. I want to thank you guys for showing up for another show, CCQ, Convict Confidential Quarterly. I'm glad you guys are going to be part of this show. You know what it's about. Right now, I have the men and women of purpose with me again. These guys are doing amazing work down in the Bay Area, 707 area. Now, I mean, they really work in California well. They have worked with some close friends of mine that I went to school with, and I know for a fact that hey, if they help these guys like how I got help, hey, I know they're doing great work. But again, I got some good guys here today. I have a Mr. Rick Fortenberry, and I have a Mr. Glen Bailey. This is a very interesting show. I want to pause for our station identification. I want to thank Rick Johnson, Vice President, for coming out today. This show is so important. I had to have the man himself work behind the cameras, the sound and everything, lighting, everything you see today. It's done by Mr. Rick Johnson. So, station identification. When I come back, I'm going to have Mr. Rick Fortenberry here, and we'll start the show. Get your pen, get your paper out, write these numbers, write these websites down, get this information. You're going to be amazed at what this show is about today. Again, Charles White, Vacaville Access Channel 27, CCQ, Convict Confidential Quarterly. All right. Hey, how you doing? We are back, and I got my man here, Mr. Rick Fortenberry. How you doing?
I'm good, Mr. White. How you doing, sir?
All right. So I'm going to get right to it. I told you I was bringing them. This is Men and Women of Purpose. I want to thank Doug. I want to thank Frank.
Doug, Frank Hancock, Ivory Mitchell.
Ivory Mitchell, all of them. I want to thank these guys for facilitating this, the Men and Women of Purpose. I told you I'm with these guys for life. This is a lifelong relationship here. So, Mr. Fortenberry.
Yes, sir.
Right off the bat, look in this camera, the question marks. Tell them why we're here today.
Yes, Men and Women of Purpose, we started an organization to help folks that's coming home from the reentry population. And one of the gentlemen that we was assisting with has did 42 years in prison, came to our organization for some assistance, and he's a friend of mine. So we got a chance to assist him and walk him through some things, and a lot of the things he got to do on himself. And I'm going to let him talk and speak on that. But what I want to talk about basically is what we do as an organization, as a community for the reentry population. And not just for the reentry population, but for anybody that needs some services in regards to mentoring, employment, housing, and education. It's real important to us. And what we want to do is what we want to show is that we care. See, we believe in quality. We don't believe in the numbers. We believe in holding your hand and giving you the support you need to navigate through the system so that you can have the help that you need in order to stay free. Because it's about being free, not about being locked up. We want you to enjoy your life, your kids, your family, your parents. As men, from one man to another, we need you. We need you.
That's what I'm talking about. Let me shake your hand
Yes,
again,
sir.
man. I love these brothers, man. Richmond. This is coming out of Richmond.
This is Richmond, California.
You hear the news. You see the news, and you hear Richmond. I don't hear good things coming out of Richmond. How did you guys decide to pick Richmond to do this and make this happen, birth it from Richmond? Where did that come from?
Well, the thing is this, Contra Costa County is where we from, and we love our community. So Richmond is part of Contra Costa County. Contra Costa County gave us an opportunity. The Sheriff Department was the first person that believed in our organization because we, as a team, we all worked in different organizations. We all did part-time MWP. The Sheriff Department gave us the first funding to go inside the jails because we was doing it for free, and they actually gave us a paying contract. But that's not why we did it, but we just sick and tired of our grandmothers and our mothers that can't walk to the store, and our kids couldn't play in the playgrounds without finding drug needles and alcohols or worried about bullets and drive-bys and laying down on the ground. So as a man, as my responsibility as a man, it was my job, and some of the other guys that's in it, we took an oath agreement right there on the spot that, hey, let's make a difference where we live.
Now, I grew up in Richmond. You know this. If you watched the previous show, I grew up in Richmond, and as a kid, I thought Richmond was a beautiful place.
Right.
You know, it was, I mean, I woke up every morning, we played football,
Right.
we picked teams,
Right.
we went to basketball, Nevin Park, 10th Street Park, you know, 4th Street Park, everybody had their own little team, and we hooked up in it, but I saw Richmond change.
Yeah.
I saw when at least from my eyesight, when the drugs were really known to me, and the people that I grew up with started to change, and
Exactly.
the killing started happening in my age group. My friends that I went to elementary school with and junior high school with started going to prison, started dying, getting killed, wheelchairs.
Yeah.
The girls that I knew were on drugs,
Right.
prostitution.
Right.
You know, it was a lot of that for me to see it, you know, and it kind of hurt my heart, you know. It really did hurt my heart.
Yeah.
So I feel good to know that there's people out here in Richmond
Right.
that's helping the next generation, that's helping the ones that I know that went through that, you know. So this is not just for inmates. This is for the parents and everyone.
Everybody, we believe in family reunification. Look, when one person go to jail in the family, it pretty much the whole family get involved. I mean, then you got the stigma of my son is in jail, my brother's in jail, my nephew, my grandson. So the whole family has to deal with certain things in regards to one person out of the family. Mostly it's the male. Not saying that women don't go to jail, but mostly it's the male that is missing in the family. So family unification is very important. So if we can help one man, we're probably going to help his whole family. Because the whole family probably needs some assistance. I'm not saying it's all like psychology, psyche, right? But it just could be somebody need a bus. One of the kids need a bus pass just to get to the school. We can help in that way. You know what I mean? It could be just something that simple. It may be that they just need some hot food, a hot meal. I mean, it's good to have a tuna fish sandwich, but when you got a hot bologna sandwich, it's a little bit different.
Give me some information. How can we contact Men and Women of Purpose?
Men and Women of Purpose, we're located in Richmond, California. Our website is www.mwpurpose.org. The number you can reach me at is 510-919-1302. I'm Rick Fortenberry. I'm the CEO of the program. So you contact us, we can get stuff done. We get it on. We like to help. Just call. We want to help you. Just get in contact with anybody there. We want to help you. Just leave the information so we can help you.
All right. You see the information down at the bottom. I told you get your pens and papers out. I will put this information again periodically throughout the show. But right now, we have a special guest coming on. I heard you say 42 years in prison.
Yeah.
And
that's a long time. That's a long time. A lot of people been alive.
He's home. He's in your program, or?
Yeah, he went through our program. Got some mentoring stuff done with him. Got him some assistance that he needed, and he's well on his way. I mean, he's a very intelligent man.
I'm looking forward to meeting him. I'm looking forward to you guys meeting him again. I thank you for being involved with the show, CCQ, Convict Confidential Quarterly. And when we get back, I'm going to pause again for station identification. When we get back, I'm going to have Mr. Glen Bailey on the show. Get your pens and paper out. Turn your DVD recorder on. You will want to tape this show. It's Charles White, Mr. Rick Fortenberry.
Thanks again, Mr. White. I truly appreciate it.
We'll see you back at the end of the show. Thank you very much. All right. All right, like I told you, I am back. Get your pens and papers out. I have here Mr. Glen Bailey. This guy is, I'm interested in hearing this show. He has done 42 years in prison. I just don't know what to say with that. So I am going to bring Mr. Bailey on and let him tell us. Let's get the question started. You know how we do. We do the question marks. The who, what, when, where's, and hows. I'm glad he's home. He's been home for a year. And I am really looking forward to speaking with him. So once again, Vacaville, Mr. Glen Bailey, how are you?
How you doing, Charles?
Okay, get your talk up a little bit for me.
Thank you, I'm fine.
All right, 42 years.
Well, it's a few days short of 42, but it rounds out to 42 years, yeah.
What year did you go to prison?
1971.
1971. I'm finna give you my age. I was 3 years old then. Can't even remember that. I wasn't even in California. I didn't come to California until I was 4. So I don't remember any of 76, 9. So I don't want to make light of any of this. So if I do or say anything that you feel is, just let me know. But first of all, before prison, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who were you before prison?
Well, I grew up in Oakland, California. I went to high school in Oakland, California. I went to McClamis High School. I was on junior varsity, Bill Russell varsity. I was junior varsity, Jim Hagnott. I was senior to Paul Silas varsity on the basketball team. I'm Wendell Hayes of the Kansas City Chiefs. I know them all. I went to school with them. We hung out. And then out in West Oakland, you become part of the community back in them days. And part of the community then was the infamous 7th Street. And I tried to pimp, I tried to hustle. I went to prison. I went to prison 3 times before I went and did it for 1971. And before I came to prison in 1871, I was managing a jewelry store in San Rafael called Lurquin Corporation. I was managing a jewelry store in San Francisco called at the Ketz Brothers Building, 1045 Market. I managed jewelry stores in Hillsdale Shopping Center, San Mateo. I managed one in Larkspur and opened up a couple of them in Nevada for the company. Well, I was bored. I was bored, to be honest with you. I was completely bored. And I went back and had a talk with myself. And only time I was happy was out there in the element. You know, riding around with the custom Cadillac or whatever. And to take the place of happiness in the end, money was what I thought I enjoyed. We think a lot of things in growing up, and I was lucky I found it, and I was saying it to Rick earlier, that I found my way 3 years at the most into this 42-year sentence. I found my way, and in 1982. About April of '82, I started preparing myself to go home for October of the 15th, 1982. April '82, I started preparing myself to go home. And
so hold on, at April '82, you had already been down, or you've been down basically 10, 11 years.
Right.
And so that was your release date?
That was my release date.
So when they sentenced you in '71, what did the judge say? How much time did he say you had?
I had life with possibility of parole, and my minimum eligibility was 7 years.
So is that when they were using the terminology 7 to life?
It's 7 to life, correct.
But 7 to life doesn't mean 7 to life.
Not really. It meant 42 in my case.
Okay, let me back up a little bit, because I know some of my audience is, wondering, is it okay to ask you why you went to prison?
I went to prison for killing 2 people.
Okay, were they heinous killings, or were they self-defense killing, or?
I was a kidnapped victim. I was kidnapped by the people I killed.
So it didn't go down to self-defense, though?
It didn't go in self-defense because of who I was, and they prosecuted me to the full extent. And everything I say to you is written in paper somewhere in one of these courthouses.
So would they consider it? I know now that if you're in the commission of a crime and something happened, then they was like, hey, you were involved in any way, that's why this happened. So was it that situation, or?
No.
Or you just kidnapped off the street, just randomly kidnapped?
I was kidnapped out of my motel room. Out of the motel room, and let me try to put a little light on this if I can. I was a drug dealer.
Okay.
That's where I found my excitement in life. I thought that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I was laying up in the motel room, and I was kidnapped by the same person that worked it for me, because he wanted the whole pile. And him and the other person, his partner, kidnapped me, and without getting too into the case, because I'm not sure if I want the case closed or not.
Right.
But what happened was, I had a co-defendant out of Richmond. His name was Aaron Lee Owens, was convicted with me, and I'd never met that man before in my life. So about 10 years into the sentence, the prosecuting attorney came up to San Quentin to talk to me, and I was steamed, because I'd been telling them for years that I didn't know Owens, and I didn't like the prosecutor. Well, that's the mentality we was in.
Right.
And because sometimes we are led to believe certain things. Well, the prosecuting attorney told me, first thing came out of his mouth, he said, Glen Bailey, I got the wrong man in prison, don't I? As I've been telling you for 10 years. Now, what happened was, he had stumbled across some guy in the court, in the county city hall, in the hallway, and he had the guy arrested because he took the guy he had arrested, mistaking him for the guy that he had appeared in board as my co-defendant at the board in Folsom Prison. He got married, just got 3 years now, and he saw the man 2-3 days later. Said, "Man, what are you doing out here?" That was the mistaken identity.
Right.
And so when he came up and told me all this, and I told him, I said, "Man, I don't know nothing about this man here, the one I got convicted with." Well, they let him out. Well, I wouldn't do any talking after that. And this is basically the second conversation I had since then. You know, I just wasn't doing any more talking because I figured if they didn't want to hear me saying this man is innocent, and they did everything after October 15, 1981. They did everything from enhancing my time for all my prior convictions, and then when I got to the 96 date, which the enhancement was 17 years, and that's 2/3 time. When I got to the 96 date, 90 days for the 96 date, they retracted my time. They took the date. Just I did not took it, and because I would not tell them, so to speak, where the body was buried.
So you had an original date of 82, 1982,
Right.
but you didn't get out in 82.
No.
So in 82, your date came. They add, now you're saying 94, so we've 12 more years.
Well, it's 19 years, but you do 2/3 of it, which was 12 years. So when I did the 2/3, 90 days before that, they took it again. And it's not funny, but I laughed about it because I found out that's the honest thing you can get in prison that's really free. Your own personality, your own humor, and that's why I'm laughing about it. But it is not funny.
No, I can't think it. No, it doesn't. No, it's not funny. It's actually sad. So we are 71 to 96. So 25 years in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're 25 years into this sentence.
Mm-hmm.
What's going through your head? I mean, you've seen a lot in prison. Did you just do it in one prison?
I did it in 2 prisons. I did it at San Quentin and at Solana down the road here. It was down the back of the road.
Okay. And I'm gonna take this up a little bit. So 96 come.
Mm-hmm.
They give you more time.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you get released?
Well, they didn't give me more time. I got to correct it. What they did, they took my date and they would deny me every year.
Oh, so every year they came up.
Every year they came up, they denied me.
And the reason why they were denying you because you wouldn't cooperate.
I wouldn't cooperate as far as telling them, cause about the guy, my true crime partner.
Right.
I didn't cooperate on that because I figured that the guy that they had convicted for 11 years, 10, 11 years with me had did the other guy's time. Let them deal with it. That's the way I looked at it.
It ain't your job.
That's right. All right.
Okay, I understand that.
But now, maybe I should say this here too, if you don't mind, is that the answer to your question about what did I think, was thinking, is that through the whole program, through the whole incarceration system, I've always felt, and I've advocated this throughout the prison since I've been involved in quite a few programs in the prisons.
Right.
And some of them I started, in fact, matter of fact, Saturday night I was at the seminary in Palo Alto speaking for the Catholic priest that was the priest in San Quentin for 24 years because he was working with the guys. And I worked with him as much as I could because he was a real person.
Right.
And before I went, to backtrack a little bit, before I went to prison, before I even commit the crime, I was running jewelry stores, as I said. And between the jewelry stores, I got bored with it. We do that. I went to work for Pfizer Pharmaceutical. I worked for Pfizer for a little while. But again, we get bored.
Right.
And that's where I went to the criminal element. Before I made that mind up, this is what I tell the youngsters nowadays and the old folks too.
Yeah, please, because we have them watching the show.
I tell them, first of all, I start my conversation with them. I've been young, you ain't never been old. Then I tell them, the day I thought about selling drugs, the day I thought about pimping, that's the day I committed the crime. And the committed the crime is, I said, well, do I want to pay the price if I get caught, or will I pay the price, or will I get killed, or will I kill somebody? You have to consider all these things when you're out there in that criminal element. And when you get caught, it's too late to cry. It's what you do, you go into the next stage, is what can I do to make this better? I messed this life up, or this part of my life up. What can I do to make it better? So I'm going to prison. Then I heard Ralph Abernathy with Martin Luther King. I heard him one time at WC in the Park in Memphis, Tennessee. He gave a speech. And one thing he gave out of that speech that stuck with me all my life is, he says, if you go anywhere, don't take ego with you. And what he meant then, to all the people that was marching down the Highway 61 for voters' rights, gathering voters' rights in the 60s, early 60s for the civil rights. He says, don't take ego. That means if you black and you go to prison, you might be called a nigger. You can't let that bother you. If you white, you go to prison, you might be called a peckerwood. You can't let that bother you. You have to move on. So, well, I'm gonna be the best peckerwood I could possibly be, or the best nigga ever be. And this goes back to what Bill Russell said years ago. I will never forget it. He said his father told him, he said, son, you can be a ditch digger, but be the best ditch digger around. I want to hear people talk about that Russell boy could dig a ditch. And this is all I'm saying is, I want people to say that Bailey guy, he didn't take nothing. I went through them prison. I didn't take nothing from the prison. I tried to leave something. You know, I didn't go there to try to be a leader. I went there to be a survivalist, and along the way, I was appointed as a leader, or nominated as a leader, pushed up front as a leader. And now, didn't nothing come from that but time. But what came from it was the wisdom and the knowledge of how to do that time. And I can stand before you right now. I can show you 3 scars on my body. One of them was a prostate surgery scar where I had the prostate removed from cancer. The other was my throat thyroid cancer. I had that removed. And I have the other scar is in my throat where I had the throat cancer cut off from the inside through the nose job. But the whole thing is that them know the scars I got. So by me coming through the prison of San Quentin, I was there one time. They killed 4 for 7 weeks, you know, and they was always stabbing somebody. In 1974 was a mess. It was terrible. There in San Quentin. And 1977 was another. And I can name them on and on. But the whole point is how you get through them without being part of it or without being a victim. You're going to be a part of it. But how you get through them is to try to get what I like to call the middle path. I try not to go too high and try not to go too low. I used to try to go right straight down the middle and have to weave every now and then, you know. But now you can't, how you have to be careful in how you weave it because you don't want people to mistake that weaving as a fear, right. You know. And then when you establish yourself, as I did in the early parts of when I first started going to prison, I was in every hole. I've been in every hole in the state prison system in the early days because I was that guy. Right. That, you know, the hole was exciting. That I thought. That's how naive I was. And that was back in the days when I went, well, when guys are standing around the yard and show their tattoos and talk about what prison they've been to. Well, I don't have no tattoos. And I did go to some prisons, though.
How did you feel about I mean, you saw guys you were there the whole time, but
Yeah.
you saw guys in and out, back and forth, in and out, saying they never coming back, and they right back.
Right back.
How did it make you feel?
Well, I have to go back to what I always said is that, you know, I can't be my brother's keeper in prison. If every time I saw a guy come and go back, and some of them guys is back in right now, and I get 3-4 letters a month from them wanting this, wanting that, and them the same guys that was out there for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and I'm still doing time. And I simply ask them, I said, let me do my time in society like I let you do yours. And when they come back to prison, to answer your question, they kept coming back. I just dug deeper, went deeper into my cell, because whatever they was on, I didn't want to be on it. You know, I wanted to get off the merry-go-round. They was on the merry-go-round. They was on a roller coaster. I didn't want to be on it. And I went to my cell with books, and I got the same books now. That's the only thing I brought from the prison was the books that I had. I left everything that's in the prison. Just the books I had to read. I had books, and I got books, and a lot that ain't no high power book. They cowboy books, country and western, and you know, blues or whatever. But those are books that I read, and I can look you in your eyes and anybody else in their eyes. I have never been to prison mentally. I went to prison physically. I did not go mentally, and I refuse to accept prison as the end of the earth.
Sound like a title of a book. I never went to work. I mean, prison physically. Mentally, I only went to prison physically. That sounds like autobiography right there. Hey, we might, or the movie or something.
You late. I got 3 or 4 people right now.
Okay, it's going down, but yeah, that's it. I mean, a lot has changed since '71.
Well, now that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, when 71, I mean, it was roll a dollar, or what you call those phones?
Rotary dial.
Rotary dials back then. And now, man, when you get here and you see some of the stuff, tell me this: what have you seen that amazing?
Well, the most amazing thing I've seen is the bureaucracy of trying to get established in society, meaning that Homeland Security. I mean, man, somebody come out of prison 42 years after 20 years after Homeland Security, you got to come out. You got to come out with your paperwork you already did, because you can't get nothing did out here, or you can't get driver's license, nothing without all the proper credentials, all the proper papers.
Right.
Now, the most amazing thing I've seen is, girls are wearing their skirts a little short.
Yeah, summertime came around, huh? You call it summertime, huh?
Yeah. Other than that.
Amazed at seeing how they just walk. Yeah.
Other than that, I can honestly say, and Rick know I'm telling the truth on this. I've had several barbecues since I've been home. Okay. And only friends I lost through the whole stretch is one that died. The only family member I lost is one that died. Other than that, I have family support, and my family and my friends, they have never let me. I had a barbecue a couple weeks ago, my first year free barbecue, and I think it was very successful. People came and people sit and we talked and we enjoyed. We ate and we broke bread. And if you break bread with somebody, you going back to the old saying is that you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Well, I feel that you can pick your family, you know, and your friends, because not a lot of cases, in most of my cases, all my friends are my family.
I can understand that. I can
understand. And I haven't really looked to the right, I haven't looked to the left. I just kind of looked straight ahead. I looked in the direction I traveled.
Here's 2 things that happened that I just want to ask you about. Tookie Williams.
Mm-hmm. Stanley, I knew Stanley. I used to cut his hair.
When he was executed, how did it make you feel?
You know, I'm going to tell you, I was in Solana when Stanley was executed. But what I look at in cases like that is that I only saw the policemen condemning him. I didn't even see his mother come up, speaking in his behalf. Stanley was a criminal. Stanley was a terrible guy. Love him, hate him. He was all that. And to make me feel how it made me feel, honestly to God, I could say it's just another human being that lost his life. I couldn't put nothing else on it but that. Another human being lost his life. I just couldn't say I didn't know him. I didn't grow up with him or nothing.
I did a whole show on that. It was kind of interesting, and then him being the last person to go through the San Quentin death penalty, and then they put a moratorium on right after that. How do you feel about the moratorium?
Well, again, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a husband. Well, I was a husband. I'm a man to a woman now, and I'm a brother. And I think them laws have their place in our society. I'm not going to condemn the death row. I'm not going to condemn the prisons. I'm just going to condemn how it's carried out. Because we need jails. We need jails. I mean, man, you think we don't need jails? Take a ride down to Oakland. Or look at the morning news in Oakland and Richmond and Vallejo.
Yeah.
And in fact, recently, right out here a few days ago.
Yeah.
And so I think it's there, but I would not get on. You won't see me marching in front of no prison with no sign talking about now with the death penalty and stuff like that, because I think it's other things that need more immediate attention. And that's the ones that's walking around, that's going to school in the mornings or going home from school in the evenings. I think I have to get a little bit more attention, because them guys that took themselves to death row, they had made the same decision. If I could have been there. But at the time when I got my murder beef, there was no death penalty, and I really can't say too much against it or too much for it, because there is a need.
Okay, here's the second thing. November 2008. Barack Obama. How was it inside the prison?
Well, all right. I was talking to Rick out front there a few minutes ago, and you must have heard our conversation. Because there's a few things that I try to refrain from is politics, law, and religion.
Okay.
Because they get to be, you're gonna have splits, you're gonna have different personalities, different opinions, and Barack Obama.
Well, see, this show's about dialogue. There's no right, no wrong.
Right.
It's just dialogue.
And that's why I'm trying. That's why I'm trying to stay down the middle.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just saying, from what happened, how was the prison system? Not your views on it.
No.
How was it?
No. I have all kind of Barack Obama postcards and pictures and memorandum, memorabilia, because he was elected and nominated or whatever. But the thing of it is that you're gonna have just as much positive on it as much negative as positive, because as many people that loved Barack Obama in prison, they had twice as many that hated him.
Right.
Because the ones that loved him mostly blacks,
right.
But blacks is not the population.
Right.
Not the overall population.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine on the telephone from prison, and all he could think about was, yeah, they got that Barack Obama, and I just kept on talking. Yeah, that's something, and I kept on talking. And finally he just said, well, you know what, you don't want to talk about that. I said, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that, because it's like a sparring partner, But personally, I think Barack Obama did as much as they let him do as much and did as much as he could possibly do with that's just said, and I don't bite my tongue, with the Jim Crow White House.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. I heard you mention been home a year.
Yeah.
Good year.
Hey man, that year have been a wonderful year. I live up in Vallejo. I got a little old 2000 Hyundai Sonata. I gets in my car in the morning during the traffic and ride down to Richmond, ride down to Oakland, go down to Aquatic Lake there in Berkeley, Aquatic Park, and walk the lake. I usually try to walk 2 or 3 days a week. 2 or 3 hours, 3, 4, 5 days a week, as often as I can down around that lake. They got SPCA, a kennel club that you can go get a dog and walk them around and all that, you know. And I sit on the shorelines in my car, you know, drinking a cup of coffee or something. And I mean, I've just enjoyed it all.
Yeah.
I got a traffic ticket a couple of days ago. Me and my lady friend down in Oakland, was a parking ticket, and she looked at me. I said, "Oh, baby, I'm glad to get this. I'm glad to be able to have a traffic ticket. You know, I'm glad to be caught up in the traffic. The people in the next lane, next car must be looking at me. So that man must be crazy. I have my little Jimmy Reed or somebody kicking on the jukebox, 'cause I love blues, kicking on the radio, and I used to be in the traffic yesterday, you know, bumper to bumper, but I'd be laughing, you know, because
Feels good to be home.
Right, that's my story. And on the way up here, me and Rick, I brought a couple of CDs out, and one of them is about, I did give one interview, and I supposed to give 4 for More Public Radio International. I gave 2 interviews, and I was, the second one, it was so much distraction and stuff in there, I just decided I wasn't gonna get no more interviews till after I saw my family for a year, saw my friends for a year, you know. And because I owe it to my family. And what I did for the last year, I just sit around, met with my family, got on everybody's nerve, you know, and I can't even tell you how many nieces and great nieces and great nieces. I'm 72 years old. And how many great nieces, you know. My niece that was a baby, that was little kids when I left the streets, was, you know, is 50-something years old now. You know, my daughter was 6 months old. Now she's 43. Well, she'll be 43 next month, you know. And I guess my sister, my young sister, we were sitting up in her house one day in Berkeley talking, and she looked at me, she said, "Brother, could I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Was your answer correct?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Have you ever did it a hard time?" I said, "No, I never did it." Because it goes back to the mental freedom. You know, and I wasn't born with this. I gathered this here through my reading. I read the Quran, I read the Bible, I read Jesuits and all the rest of the books, looking for that niche. So one day I picked up a book on Buddhism, on Buddha, and I found that path, and I felt peaceful with that path that it was taken. And that's what I attribute to my demeanor now.
Vacaville, I know some of you guys are watching this show. It's like, why are we doing this show? We're doing this show, one, we want to show that there are organizations out there that's helping people that come out of prison. So they're centralizing their resources. This show is for people that's been to prisons and also the family members of prisoners, you know, so they can hear a little bit about what someone went through on the inside. See, everyone that come out of prison is not, they don't feel like the world owed them something. They're not looking to go back. You know, they want to just live, they realize they made a mistake. Some mistakes you make can cost you your leg. Some can cost you your life. Some can cost you, in Mr. Bailey's situation, 42 years of his life straight, you know, but you joined the organization a year ago, Men and Women of Purpose. You got involved with them. Tell me how that affected your homecoming.
Well, what I did, I went down there, and I had 42 years of Jet magazines, 42 years of Ebony magazines, 42 years of Blues magazines, and other books. I took them down there, and I guess this desk was a box. It might hold all of them, but I didn't have them in the cell in the prison with me. I sent them home every year, and they was kept. When I came home, I took them down to get Rick so he can get us something to kids. Now, how I got involved with Rick family and one of my older sister family are real friends with each other. And so then I went down and I talked to Rick, and Rick was saying all the things that I like hearing, you know. And I just told him, I said, hey, man, I'm here. If you need me, if anything I can do, you know. Because first me going to school, participating in them classes, I only do the basics because you know, because I've never in my life had any drugs in my body other than a little marijuana.
Right.
You know, I never abused my body, and I have good family support, so I didn't really need the men and women of purpose other than be my friend.
Well, that's what they're there for.
Right, to be my friend and let me be a friend to help. You know, maybe I could talk about something that Rick can't talk about.
Right.
You know, maybe if somebody come out of prison now doing that, because ain't nobody coming out that did over 42, not soon, but they coming out that doing 25 and 30.
Right.
You know, and as a matter of fact, I got a guy called me last night and asked me, could I say something to Rick about him coming down. He just got out of prison last month. He did 34 years, you know. And he's out of Richmond, Ellis Williams, Spud.
Spud.
Yeah, you have to know him. He's out of Richmond.
God, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait a minute. He did 34 years?
Yeah.
What's his?
Ellis Williams. Ellis Edward Williams. Called him Spud.
I think.
Earl South 19th and Cutting.
Was he in Solano?
He was in Solano. Yeah.
Made it home, huh?
Yeah, you know.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
He made it home.
Yeah, he was at my barbecue last week, you know, and he, you know, he wanted to do something. See, so we're not coming out of prison asking for help. We're asking, let us help.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some mistakes you only make once, you know, and the situation you were in, the things you got caught up in, society says this is what you have to do to pay for those mistakes. You went in, you did your time, can't reverse the past,
Right.
and now you're here and you're giving back. That's all we can ask for. So do me a favor. Looking at this camera here, towards my Vice President Rick, someone who's looking to get into a life of drugs. You can't stop them. Give them 60 seconds.
Well, that's drugs is something that I'm not
Selling, the crime.
Well, now I'm gonna tell you, it take 15 minutes to sell. You can sell a bag of drugs in 15 minutes or 15 seconds, but you're gonna take a generation. A generation is 30 years or more to get out of it once you get caught. Now, if you want to sell drugs and go to prison, and when you get caught, don't cry about it. Just go in there and try to correct yourself and come on back. But I don't think there's nothing I could say to stop anyone from selling drugs, because I won't have no other alternative, nothing else to get on to say, well, since you can't sell no drugs, let me give you $1 million. You know, I can't give them that. And if you can't give one of these kids no $1 million, You know, they ain't gonna put the drugs down unless you find something that everybody could agree on. You know, now what is that? I don't know. Sometimes it might be religion for some people. It might be camaraderie for others. But I don't think we're gonna find an answer to that.
I like, you know, you got family members out and they got family in prison, and a lot of family think like, oh, he's in prison, he a lost cause. You showing that a person is not a lost cause, you know. 42 years, like you said, the longest I've met somebody did 20 years. 42 years is a long time. I was 3 years old when you went to prison. So that's a long time. And this is just one episode of many that we're going to do with the men and women of purpose. They constantly keep giving us this good information. You take this information and you find the best out of it. You can look at this and you can find a lot of negativity out of it, or you can find a way to find a lot of good out of this. Look for the good, use it for your best abilities. We will definitely have Mr. Bailey back. I'm looking forward to going even further into this conversation. Due to television time, we only have so much time today. I would like to have Mr. Fortenberry back to wrap the show up. We're going to pause for station identification. When we get back, we'll have a wrap-up show. Wrap the show up with Mr. Rick Fortenberry. I want to thank you, Mr. Glen Bailey, for coming out, sharing with us. This is personal stuff that he's sharing with, and he's on television. He's on the internet. You know, when you get on TV like this and you out looking for a job, you don't know who's gonna see. But hopefully, if you do see this show, you'll see the sincerity in this man's voice and just the fact that he's here to help. And that's what we need. That's what I'm here to do, help. That's what Rick here to do. And
I would like to say one thing, if I may.
There you go.
If anybody listen to this show, want to take this conversation further, just invite me to where you at. I'll come down.
There you go. We're going to have Mr. Rick Fortenberry back with more information from the men and women of purpose. And you'll be able to, if you want to have Mr. Glen Bailey come speak, and you need to have, like he said, you don't get stripes for going to prison, but you do develop some wisdom that other people don't have. He can speak on 42 years. I can't speak. I can barely speak on 42 years alive. So if you would like to have him come speak anywhere, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's a auditorium, a memorial, have him come. We'll be right back with you with Mr. Rick Fortenberry to wrap this up. This is Charles White, Vacaville Access Channel 27. I want to thank you very much. And again, thank you very much. Couldn't do it without him.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for your time. Thanks for viewing the show. We really want to thank Mr. White for having us here, men and women of purpose, Richmond, California. Mr. Bailey, Glen Bailey, we thank him so much. He said a lot of things tonight. Listen to me. I really need you guys to hear me on this. Incarceration is incarceration. What Mr. Bailey talked about is how to survive and get through prison. What men and women purpose want to do is tell you how to live life after prison. And wait, check this out. You don't even have to be in prison, in physical prison. You could be in a bad relationship. You could be on drugs or alcohol. Life is just not going right for you. Like Mr. Bailey said, he really didn't need nothing from us for being a friend. We call that mentoring. That's what we call it. But we could be your friend to assist you through that process, because it's all about life. It's not about death no more. It's not about the end, living the end in jail. Jail is not the passage to manhood for black males. It's not. We got another system for you guys. We got something else for you guys. It's called love. We're going to embrace you guys with some love. We're going to put our arms around you. We want to help you to make your life, make your dreams come to reality. I'm a God-fearing man. Most of the guys who work in our organization are God-fearing men and women. We don't push religion on nobody. But we love God, and we love our people. We love our community. We love the work that we're doing, and we ain't scared of you. We ain't scared of no saggy pants. We ain't scared of no loud music. We ain't scared of no dreadlocks, no white tees. What we saying is to y'all is come see us so we can start living. Because we want you guys to take real vacation, go to Disneyland. Take your kids out of the block area. 1 block radius. Get out of that. There's more to life than that. We just want to be the ones to show you to do that. That's why we're there. We're waiting for you there in Richmond. Come see us. God bless, and thank you, sir, for your show. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. All right, Doug. All right, Mr. Ivory. We did this. I got another book, too. Jail is Not the Passage for Black Men. I mean, you guys are giving me books, movies. It's going down. Yeah. I love this. Here's information again. Write it down. I want to thank Vacaville Access Television Channel 27. Go to the website, vctaccess.org. We only work off donations. You know how we do it. We really appreciate your support. We could not do this without you guys' support. Volunteer financially. Go to the website, hit the donate button. Get in contact with us through this phone number, Charles White or Rick Johnson. Contact us, and we will assist you in any way we can. We want to thank you. Again, thank you, men and women of purpose. Thank you, Contra Costa County, Richmond, California, the Sheriff Department, everybody that was involved with helping make this possible. And again, I would like to thank Mr. Glen Bailey. Yeah. We're looking forward to seeing him here again, and we want to wish him a continual success on his re-entry into society. There's many more questions I want to ask him and things I want to show him, because I know some stuff that he hasn't seen that I'm just interested in. This is great. Yeah. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.
These are a friend of mine, yes, and sir. As you see, these brothers are well dressed all the time. I love it. It's good. Charles White, Vacaville Access Channel 27. Thank you.
1990, Sharp Rock jumps upon the scene with a lean and a pocket full of green. The green doesn't symbolize I made it on the top, but RoboCop last year was a shock. The tone of the Popeye cut shook your butt. Kids are screaming, the media says what? Kind of music is this for you to dance to? The man with the plan and the band demands you. Leave the smack and the crack for the whack, for the ball and the knock, keep a smile like that. Leave the knife and the gun in the store and ignore temptation sent by the nation. Racial game cause his pain needs a new rep. In your heart and mind, never forget Yusef Hawkins, and when you're walking, you don't just one. Black on black, remember that, it's important. Anyway, the shunless one bring forth the fun. No hatred, the summer's almost done. No time for sleep. Jump in your Jeep and pump up the funky beat. Holy beeper goes off, yo, smash it, then trash it. You're too young to be plumped in a casket. Just get your boys and bring the noise and just swing it. And party people, sing it. Dibs on the big man. Can he come out? Can he come out and slam a jam? I'm his #1 fan, yes I am. All these kids realize that I'm the man. 6'3" and maybe a quarter an inch bigger than last year, but still a unique figure. Rob Swinger, Doc, no dinky, and hot dog know that I'm a man that was born to have a mic on next to me at all times, ready to kick a rhyme that'll get me out of financial bind. That's why when it comes to fans, I'm never mean. Kids on St. James between Gates and Green always says hello, cause I'm a modest fellow. Never try to play a superstar that's mellow, cause if these kids don't go buy our records, we'll be has-beens and plus naked. So we owe them, so pull out your pen, sign an autograph, you might make a new friend. So just get your boys and bring the noise and just swing it. And party people in the house sing it. Listen up, how the man with the plan and the band rips it up. Beats the Howie G, good looking G. Swing a hot dog, Doc, no butt, F love for dinky. Fish and chips with the hippie hips. Before the tune ends, give me some lips. Sanity Crystal, my niece, and Lady Kazam, my homegirl, peace. And leave the guns and have fun.